Hello, and welcome to the third episode in this occasional series. This week I'm going to be looking at trying to build these three coaches that I've got to go with the train itself. So let me open one of these up and we'll get the bits out and we'll just make a start on the first one. Right, so the first one that we're looking at is a German gondola. It's kit number K004. Looks really straightforward, shouldn't take too long. First thing we need to do is to fit this piece to the bottom of this. But as you can see, there's a little bit of stuff to take off it. So I'm just going to tidy that up. Coming off very easily. That'll do for now. Right, so basically nothing complicated, that's just going to go straight onto that part. Let's get the super glue out. Right. Just hold it. That's that bit. Now we need to build these base wheels up. Let me close in a bit so you can see some of these smaller pieces. So it's these pieces that I'm building up now. And it's fairly straightforward. It's got a lug to stop it going through any further than it needs to. So just a matter of a little bit of glue. Same at the other end. Make sure that I've got these straight. There we go. And I'm just going to put that there because that will hold it how I want it. It will be fitting in there eventually, but let's build up the next one. very simple build so far, not having any great problem putting it together. Let's put that in its slot as well so we can line it up. In fact, that's a good idea really. I would advise that, you know, when you're doing this, to make sure it's going to sit well on the rails, is just temporarily put it in place while you're getting that to dry. Then you know it's going to fit on the track. Right, so what I've noticed on this is where it's got to sit in this slot, whether it's that this has gone a bit tight or these have expanded a bit, you know, bigger than they should be, they wouldn't fit in. So all I've done is just filed it briefly on both sides. Nothing too drastic, just so it's got a nice tight fit when it goes in. You can see on this one, look, where I've done it. I've just took it down a little bit there. Right, so let me just put the glue on. You should hear it click in place. There you go. And that's it, look. So it really isn't that much. It's just you know, where it's like when with casted parts you always get a little bit of tight grip. You're always going to have to fettle kits a little bit to get them in place, aren't you? So let me just check that I've got my other one, whether I need to take a little bit more off. Yeah, a little bit more on that. Let me get that done and then I'll bring you back and we'll stick that one in place. Right, so I've sanded this set of wheels down now, so we can just glue this one in place. There we go. So that's the wheels in place. Now what I have done as well is these plates that fit over the wheel, just there, they also sit in that slot. So I've sanded the ends down of those to make sure I don't have a problem putting them in place as well. Push that down a little bit. That's it. So you can see, look, it fits in tight on that gap. Gives the wheel that realistic look. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit all the rest of them now and then I'll bring you back. Right, so I've glued all those cover plates in place now. And then you'll see the reason why I've left this track out is because I want to make sure that they sit okay on it. Bring that up for you. Slides along lovely. So no problem there. Right. So the next thing are to fit the buffers and the connecting hooks as well in place. Now you can see where they're due to sit, but there is a little bit of a seam running through that, so I'm just going to cut that out with my knife. I think it's the same the other end. That one's a bit clearer, but I want to just cut that out to make it a nice little hole for it to sit in, because that way we know we're going to get it sat just right. So let me just clean that up and then I'll bring it back and show it you. Right, what I've done is I've just got my little file set out to tidy those up so that the parts are going to sit in it well. There was just a bit of extra material, and you know, it had obscured some of the holes and slots where I needed it. I tell you, these things, this little file set, I think I got it from Boys. It's a set of 6 little files. I'll tell you what, it was a bargain, and it's surprising how useful they are, and if you're building this kind of thing, they're ideal. Anyway, I've made the holes, so let's start putting the buffers in place now. Right, straight that way. Seem to be in line. Oh, that one's tilting a bit. Let's just hold him in place for a minute. I'll finish it off with me super glue accelerant, but I don't want to do it right now because it'll probably blast it out of place. Yeah, they seem in line. Let's try it. Getting to the end of that. Alright, now we'll put the little connecting hook in place. Again, it's taking a bit of time just to make sure I've got it looking straight. Definitely going to need a new can of that. Anyway, let me show you them in place. So that's your 2 buffers and the connecting hook. So I just need to do the same at the other end. So let me get them on and then I'll bring you back. Right, so I've glued those in place, both ends now. And that's that one complete. So basically, there doesn't look any gaps that I need to clear up. You know, you know, to fill with green stuff. Everything seems to be perfect on this one. So it'll just be a matter of painting it when we get to it. And that's that one. Right, so let me just clear my desk a little bit and then we'll start the next one. Right, so the second one that I've got is a German gondola high side coach, which is kit K064. And to be honest, it looks very similar to how it goes together. The only addition really is some gates to the side of the truck itself. So we'll start the same way by fixing this on in place. Right. Right, and the wheels are exactly like before. Having said that, I've noticed that this one, because I tried it a few minutes ago, it fits in quite well, so I don't need to sand anything off on this one. So that's good. So let's put the wheels together first. I think what I'm going to do, because I'm familiar now because we did the other one, I'm going to press on and put these straight in place. And that way it can be holding them in true while I'm getting the next ones ready. There we go, look. And that's going to hold them nice for fitting on the track as well at the same time. So we'll do the same on the other one. Right, I'll get this done and I'll bring you back when I move on to the next bit. Alright, so I've got the wheels in place now. So now we're just sticking the wheel trims into that position. So let's get those in place. That's the first one. They're a relatively simple build, obviously, so it's just taking your time. If you want it to look straight, you know, you want to get everything in place, it's just worth doing a little bit of, you know, cleaning up and filing as you're going along, because it's little things like that that can spoil the look of something. Right, one more of them. As I say, I might look at purchasing a few more. I don't want to make it an overly long train, otherwise, you know, it'll look, you know, too much for the battlefield. But I may have a look at some others, because obviously, although I'm using this towards this one big scenario that I'm planning, I will be using it in other battles, so I may add to the coaches a bit and get some more. Right, so that's all those in place with the wheel covers. So now we're down to the buffers, the connecting hooks and the doors. So I think we'll start with the doors. And the doors have got a couple of little hinges on the side, so that's the side you want against here. These look like they're just going to be fairly easy, just glue in place. Yeah. It'd be nice if I had some more super glue accelerant, but unfortunately I'm out of stock of it, so just have to be a bit careful so I don't knock it over. And just take your time to make sure you've got it in line. Well, if I bring that up for you to see. Same with the other side. Well, the good thing about these is if you wanted to do any that were, you know, crashed or derailed, you could do a certain amount of damage to these and leave the doors flung open or whatever. So, you know, I'm just putting them together for the project I want, but it's like the houses, you know, there's so much more you could do to these as models, you know, what you can build up. I mean, because obviously what I'm going to be looking to do is to build the stuff that I want to put in here, all the crates, and for the scenario, obviously it'll be crates of paintings and, you know, Rembrandts and Van Goghs and Monet and all that piled up here, and then you've got sheets. So it's down to your imagination, isn't it, really? So, you know, I'm really excited by the project. I'm looking forward to this. Right, let's get the buffers in place. Now I have took a bit of time, again with my little file kit, to clean up these holes where I want it based, just so it has a nice place to sit, because they were, you know, a little bit obscured. So I did have to file it down and clean out the holes a little bit, but nothing major. Right, let's get the buffers in place. Right, I'll cook that when they're dry, because otherwise it's a little little bit like watching the proverbial paint dry for you. So I'm just going to give them a few minutes to go off, and then I'll pop the others on and bring you back. Right, so we've got the buffers and the coupling hook on at both ends, and now what we ought to do is just test it sits well on the track. So I'll take that one off. There we go. Yeah, that's smooth. Sits well. You can see. So that's the second one done. Right, let me just tidy up and we'll bring you back for the last one that I've got. Right, so we're on to the third and final one. And this one is kit K002, and it's a G10 covered wagon. So obviously there's a lot about it that's going to be familiar. It's just this time it's got a covered part to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. This is saying about building the wheels first, and actually fitting them in place on just this plate. But I'm going to go ahead and do it the same way that we've done the others. So I'm going to glue this in place first. Right, that's that bit. And then we'll crack on to the wheels. I won't take you through doing all of these. I'm just going to do this one. You've seen me do quite a few wheels now, I know. There we go. Just tidy that one up a bit. Right. So as you can see, that's gone in, sits right. So I'll get the others done and then I'll bring you back. Right. So that's both sets of wheels in place. And now, as before, we're going to be sticking the wheel covers on. I'll quickly get this done. I found these little scissors just do the job for pushing that down. And that's those. Right. Got the base on it, so we want the doorway. Oh, I don't seem to be any set place for the doorway. So let's just have a look at this. That definitely wants to be that way up. I'm just going to do a bit of a dry fit on this just to make sure, you know, I don't want to start sticking things in place and find out I've got it wrong. So that's obviously that side, because that's the door slid back, and whether you can see that on there. If you have a look on that side, that's showing the door pushed back, what looks like the double door. And then this one with the grill on it will be on this side. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is take it off there for a minute. Make sure I've got that the right way up with this one as well. Grill, yeah. I'm going to glue these together first. And I'm going to hold this for a few seconds. Unfortunately, like I say, I've got no accelerant left. I think it's finally gone off. Right. Glue the other end on. Quite ready yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue around the bottom now, ready to stick it on the carriage, and then I can make sure that I've got everything squared up. Right, I think that's it. Yep, that's all in place. Push it down tight in this corner. Right. So that's the main body of it. Now, with this, obviously there's no latches on that, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of plastic on the inside here that fits against the bottom, because I don't know as I need it for this scenario, but there might come a time when I want to be able to lift this roof off. So if I can put a little piece of plastic or something that's just going to hold that in place when it's sat on it, I think that will look better. And then I can take it off to put any men in it or whatever. So I don't think I'm going to fix that in place, even though it says, you know, you should. Anyway, I'll come back to that bit. First of all, I'm going to get the buffers in place now. And I have got one other little issue. Unfortunately, I mean, it's the last of my kits, but I'm one connecting hook short. So again, what I'm going to do, I mean, I know these are nice people, I could probably get in touch and they'll pop me one in the post, but I'm going to be using green stuff at some point in the future, so what I'll do is I'll just take an imprint of this and mould myself another little green one out of green stuff and pop them on later. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get these buffers in place, and then we'll have a look at putting some kind of thing on the roof so I can pop it off when I want to. Just let them dry for a minute, and I'll pop the other ones on and then I'll bring you back. Right, so that's the buffers in place, both ends. As I say, I'm going to leave the little coupling hook off because there's obviously one missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little mould of that later. So I'll have to leave it at this point, and I'll have them fitted on before, you know, we start the painting process. But what I am going to do is do this roof arrangement. Now, I found a little piece of balsa wood in my kit, and so what I'm going to do is I've cut a couple of pieces off, and basically what I've done is I've got the roof how I want it position wise, and then I've drawn a couple of lines, and all I'm going to do is stick this piece of balsa wood just inside that line at both ends. So let me glue them in place. Right, I've made sure that's dry because I don't want it to stick in place and not be able to get it back off. And that's it. So with having that on there, you know, it's not going to slide around once I put it on, and I can take it on and off when I want it. And the good thing about it is, obviously, because I've not painted it before I've put it together, I can access the inside as well. So that's another good reason to have done what I've done. So that's that complete. Obviously, just got to get another one of these coupling hooks made up, and it'll be done. But for the point of this video, that is all three of my trucks complete. Let's just check that one on its wheels as well. Yeah, perfect. So, as you can see, these were relatively easy builds. The drawings were perfect for these ones. Tiny bit of flash here and there to clean up, but you'd expect that with any model. But all in all, a really simple, pleasurable little build. And, you know, together with the locomotive that we built last time, they'll look the part. Especially when, you know, at some point in the future I make some crates and things for these. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it, you know, useful, interesting. You know, any comments or suggestions, please drop them below as always. And if you have liked what you've seen and you want to see more, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you see when the next one drops. As I say, this particular series is a casual one. So next week it will be, you know, another project. But I will return at some point with part 4. Right, well, thanks again for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye.